We're getting so much conflicting data on Bitcoin right now. Some people are calling for 6K. Other people are discussing Bitcoin buy signals that predict Bitcoin is heading to almost 200K by the end of the year. Crazy. Today, we're going to look at the most bullish and bearish scenarios for Bitcoin, and it's looking like either straight up moon or straight up ramen. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoyCrypto. If you would like daily crypto videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you want to learn more about crypto or trading, then please make sure to join one or both of my Telegram chats, the Bit Squad or Bit Squad Traders. All right, guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a few things going on with the price of Bitcoin. And at the end of this video, we are going to be doing a full tutorial on PrimeXBT. So if you've ever thought about longing or shorting Bitcoin or just want to know how it works, then just make sure to stay until the end. So let's start with the most bullish case for Bitcoin. As many people know, the price of Bitcoin is heavily affected by Bitcoin miners. The selling pressure that halving events create is big in the beginning of a new cycle. But over time, as the price of Bitcoin increases, the pressure for miners to sell goes down. To put it in simple terms, miners have to sell less of their Bitcoin to make the same amount of profit when the price of Bitcoin increases. So when it comes to mining, there's a long-term signal called the hash ribbon. And this ribbon indicator has pretty much been dead on in the past. It takes into consideration the 1 and 2 month simple moving averages, or SMA, of the Bitcoin hash rate based on mining. This is helpful to pick out market bottoms, miner capitulation, and optimal times to buy Bitcoin. YouTuber Lark Davis, whose YouTube channel is now self-titled, but previously went by the name Crypto Lark, is really big on these hash ribbons and believes 160K is in the cards for Bitcoin due to this long-term indicator. I really like what Lark says here in this tweet, which is that history doesn't often repeat, but it does rhyme. The reason why technical analysis works is because charts repeat historical patterns to an extent based on human psychology. So we have to keep this in mind that everything's not 100% repeatable, but we do have things that are similar. So even with the most bullish scenarios and indicators, there are often bearish counterparts. Many people are seeing the charts go bearish right now, and while personally I'm not seeing it, I'm seeing a huge red flag for the markets in general. I received an email this morning from Token Metrics, which was pretty alarming. And if you've been following the channel's monthly altcoin picks the last few months, you would know Token Metrics is deadly accurate when it comes to coin research. If you want to get a 14-day free trial with them, you can do that by visiting tm.bitboy.live. But basically, the email says that there is evidence that the QQQ ETF is going to plunge in July. Not great news. This ETF basically follows big American tech stocks, and you may not know, but the market cap of Microsoft alone is bigger than the entire US junk bond market. In addition, the top 10 US stocks are worth more than the rest of the world's stock markets combined. Basically, the American tech stocks rule the financial world. So if this ETF plummets, then look for the whole stock market to crash again. Which means, unless Bitcoin does something it's never done before and retain its value during a crash, it is ripe to plunge along with the stock market. It's the one wild card going on in the world that could trump any Bitcoin indicators or buy signals we see. And look, here's the truth. Parts of the US are starting to go back into lockdown. The New York tri-state area just announced a lockdown quarantine for all travelers coming from what they consider to be hotspot cities. They have to stay quarantined for 14 days or face a $1,000 fine. California is now beginning to reverse course on opening back up. The South is starting to see explosions in cases. Houston is now supposedly at 97% occupancy in its intensive care units. It certainly feels like we're going backwards. The stock market rally and optimism we've seen this year was based on cities and states opening back up, not going back into lockdown. So in spite of the charts and indicators, we could be due for another crash if stocks plunge. I have buy orders set just under 6K just in case. While we glanced off 3,900 in March, I wouldn't expect a dip to go much further than 6K even in the worst case scenario. The point is, you should always be ready for moon, but also always be prepared to scoop up more BTC if the price drops due to the overall health of the world's financial markets. Okay guys, let's jump into this tutorial on PrimeXBT. All right guys, so here I am on the PrimeXBT homepage. You guys can see right here, all you got to do is hit register if you're new. There's a little bit of information here on this page that might be useful to you, talking a little bit about the platform, talking about, up to 100x leverage, which is way too high. Please don't use that much. And things like that. So PrimeXBT uses something called floating leverage, which is a little bit different than like if you were to set your leverage on Bybit. This actually works kind of more on percentages than on like kind of a set and forget margin amount like you're used to maybe on some other sites. So you can open up a free account, trade Bitcoin with 100x leverage. 100x leverage is kind of like the promotional thing all these places use because it sounds outrageous, but really, once again, be a little more conservative than that. I don't ever suggest going over 25 and always use stop losses, of course. So here we go. We got the app you can download as well, trade anytime, anywhere. Now, if you want a deposit bonus of 50% for up to 1 Bitcoin, you guys can head on over to prime.bitboy.live and sign up. And then you can also go ahead and type in the code BitBoy and you can get that deposit bonus. So all you got to do to register is just hit register, put in your email, your password, confirm the password. You guys know the drill. Hit I accept and register, and boom, you got an account. Now, you don't actually need a VPN for this site. This is one thing that I do like about it. So when you come over here to the homepage, you guys will see in my trading account, I've got about almost 500 bucks here right now at the moment. You can kind of, move this stuff around. You can change what you have up here. You can show your trading history on the homepage. Everything is customizable, which is cool. If you just want a demo trade, you can actually go over here to Turbo, and you have a deposit of, or a, a balance of 1 BTC, and you can actually trade with that. And, if you do well, then you can move on over to regular trading. If you do terrible, then, you don't have to do regular trading at all. So you can sign up for an account without actually having to deposit money. Co-vesting is kind of where you pick some winners that you want to follow. You want to do what they do. You can kind of invest in their, trading strategy, and you can make money that way. Analysis, you can check out, trading view directly through the site. So that is cool. Things like that. Account, of course, obviously you can check out your account page, see your trade history, your balances, and things like that. So when it comes to actually setting up a trade with Prime XBT, it's a little bit different, like I said, than other sites you may have used. You have your, balance up here. You have your equity, your unrealized PL, your used margin, your available margin, and your available margin is going to be 100%. If we come on over here to this page talks about the margin requirements for Bitcoin. So Prime XBT allows you to trade on margin, means you're able to leverage your investment by owning positions of larger size than the funds you have to deposit. Margin requirements vary from instrument to instrument and can be changed at any time to reflect market conditions. So you look here, and based on the amount of Bitcoin that you're borrowing, this is going to change the margin requirement you have and also your leverage. As you guys can see, if you're getting a very small amount, your leverage is going to be very high. Your margin requirement is going to be very low. If you're trading, on margin 100 BTC or more, your margin requirement is going to be pretty high and your leverage is going to be very low. So it's just kind of a game of balancing those out. So instead of actually setting the amount of margin you want, you're basing that off of how much Bitcoin you're borrowing on leverage, if that makes sense. So let's look at an example of how you would do a trade here. All you would do is come here to BTC USD, and then you would just hit trade. Now, once you open this window up here, you're going to see the symbol that you're going to want to trade. You're going to have the, different kinds of orders. You have a market order, you have a limit order, you have a stop order, and an OCO. So most of you guys are going to probably want to start with market or limit, and then you're going to, choose the amount of Bitcoin that you want to get on margin. Now, you do have to remember that fees are going to play into this. So the long and the short of it is, if I wanted to borrow 5.9 BTC in my account that's got 0.052 BTC in it right now, that's not going to work. I couldn't even borrow 5.2 BTC right now because if I did that, then what is going to happen is basically because of the funding fees, which you guys can see over here, it's going to actually end up basically making my account go negative and I'll get immediately liquidated. So you can't actually, borrow that much. But you got to remember that since, I'm not going to be able to borrow a huge amount, my margin is going to be, very, very low percentage-wise. So we've seen this with some other sites. I just, encourage all you guys to be careful. But at the same time, with Prime XBT, you don't have to worry about them trading against you, which is pretty common on some of the bigger sites, which is why a lot of people get liquidated. A lot of those exchanges are trying to make sure that, they do liquidate people. BitMEX is famous for that. So let's just say I wanted to borrow 1 BTC based on leverage. So I would hit 1 BTC. I just hit the wrong button. How about that? Okay, so the margin impact is going to be 0.01. I've got plenty in my account to cover that. Now, you can set your stop loss here. Okay, so you can set your stop loss price, your take profit price, as you guys can see here. Let's say I wanted to take profit at 10K. I could set that. Taking profit at 10K. So then I can also come up here to my stop loss, and let's say I want my stop loss to be 9,200. Okay, click there. Now I'm going to hit send order. We're going to buy 1 BTC at market value on margin. We're going to take a stop loss of 9,200. We're going to take profit if it hits 10K, and we're going to hit confirm. As you can see, now the order is filled. Now you can see right now up here in the right hand corner, I have 80.9%, basically 81% of my margin remaining. If the price of Bitcoin, now you might look at this, you might think to yourself, oh, okay, well that wasn't too bad. It was just a couple bucks, impact on your account. I've got 81% margin left. Well, if I were to do another trade, okay, that's going to make my available margin go down. And so the lower the margin gets, the closer you are to getting liquidated. So you got to be really careful to make sure you are leaving a large amount of margin. You don't want to get over, exposed, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin makes one little bitty move and you get liquidated. Definitely don't want that. Because I have that stop loss, that's going to actually prevent that from happening. But you just really, on this platform especially, want to be doing one trade at a time. So that is pretty much everything with making a trade at PrimeXBT. It's kind of a unique way of doing things. And you see this a lot with a lot of these trading sites, is each of them do different things. We looked at BitYard, which you got to go 20x on. We're looking at PrimeXBT, which uses floating margin in percentages. We've looked at Bybit and Femex, which are more traditional in terms of you set your margin, and that's pretty much it. So, you really got to find which one of these platforms works for you and things like that. So definitely do want to say thank you to PrimeXBT for being a monthly sponsor of the channel. They're a company I work with, I respect a lot. So big thank you to them they didn't necessarily sponsor this segment, but I do work with them on a monthly basis. And if you want to try it out, make sure you guys head on over to prime.bitboy.live, and also make sure to use the code BitBoy to get 50% on a deposit bonus up to 1 BTC. So I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this tutorial. But now it's your turn. Do you think Bitcoin is primed for a collapse or move? Let me know by dropping a comment below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe to become a member of the Bit Squad. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.